stage I'm like a photo session. You can't handle the pressure, you need to come harder. My words fuck your head up like a Trump baller.
What's going on, Royals? Part 27 of Meet Your Strawman. If you haven't purchased this book already, I recommend you go and do. We're going to get straight into this goodness. And we'll be talking about the 3 stages of revolution that are sequential. And apparently stage 1 is already underway. Shall we get into these stages? I think we should. Stage 1 is the ideological resistance. Yes, in this stage, we have to actively work to wake up as many people as possible about what is happening and the direction we are headed. All revolutions originate from a shift in the mindset of the population, and no other meaningful resistance is possible without it. Success in this stage of the game can be measured by the contagion of ideas. When an idea reaches critical mass, it begins to spread on its own and seeps into all levels of society. In order to achieve that contagion, we need more people in this fight. Bully. We need more people speaking up, making videos, writing articles, getting this information onto the national and international stage, and we especially need to reach the military and the police. This is the information that we should be sharing. Fuck all the other shit. Don't worry about chemtrails. Worry about this. This. Now, stage 2 is civil disobedience, also known as non-violent resistance. In this stage, you put your money where your mouth is, or more accurately, you withhold your money and your obedience from the government, and you do everything in your power to bring the gears of the state to a halt. Practiced in mass, this method alone is often enough to bring a regime to its knees. However, if it fails at this stage, stage 3 may be inevitable. Stage 3. It's direct physical resistance. Direct physical resistance is the last resort, and it should be avoided and delayed as long as possible, and only invoked when all other options have been thoroughly exhausted. There are those who talk tough and claim that they will resist when the time comes, but what they fail to realize is that if you are inactive during the first 2 stages and save your efforts for the last resistance, you fail. When the Nazis in Germany were moving from door to door, dragging people out of their homes, that was the time to fight back physically. But due to the lack of ideological resistance and civil disobedience leading up to that movement, even an armed uprising would have likely failed at that point. An armed uprising can only succeed if the people have established an attitude of active resistance. And active resistance is only possible after their minds have broken free from the mainstream propaganda. If you want to fight back, then it is now or never. You are not going to get another chance, and the stakes are far higher than they were in Nazi Germany. Don't worry, we got some closing good news. One of the major attacks mounted against you is to con you out of your moolah. Much of this is government tax or, shit on fuels, which are burnt to provide us energy. Energy for transport, energy for heating, cooling, lighting, cooking, washing, drying, communications, entertainment, you fucking name it. A major effort has been put into attempting to prevent you from finding out the simple fact that we are all surrounded by limitless energy, and more importantly, preventing us from finding out how to tap into and use that energy. Tight control has been kept on educational establishments, publishing and mainstream news services. Patents have been suppressed, inventors harassed, intimidated and forced into silence by any available means. The reality is that energy can be pulled from the air using an aerial, and Hermann Plausen produced systems which provide more than 100 kilowatts of electrical energy and which need no input whatsoever. There is nothing magical about this, as the energy comes from the ionosphere, which the sun continuously decharges. So sorry folks, no magic, just practical engineering. Don't worry, magic is possible. Expelliarmus. Energy can be pulled from the ground. As the earth is a vast reservoir of energy, energy can be taken from gravity by various methods, including just nudging weights sideways as they fall, powering a large wheel which turns a generator. Energy can be drawn from changes in inertia, as just spinning a flywheel which drives a generator allows that generator to power both the flywheel and other items of the household equipment. Ordinary, unmodified petrol generators can provide kilowatts of electrical power by splitting water into its component gases and using those gases to power the generator. Here, the generator both splits the water and powers the additional equipment. It is possible to build a simple motor generator which produces far more electrical power than is needed to make it run. Our boy Robbo Adams of New Zealand demonstrated this with quite small models, which had a minimum of 8 times more output power than input power, while more advanced models have outputs hundreds of times greater than the input power. We are told, either tongue-in-cheek or based on complete ignorance, that permanent magnets can't do any useful work. Dietmar Hall has shown that anybody can build a simple rotor drum which is made to spin using just permanent magnets. We are told that no electronics-driven transformer can output more than is used to drive it. Thane Hines has demonstrated that this is just not true. While by adding a permanent magnet to the transformer, Lawrence Seng has shown that with just a simple iron frame, much more power can be drawn from the output than is needed to operate the frame. The supposed limits taught by educational establishments are based on electric transfer methods in transformers running at low speeds, such as 50 or 60 cycles per second. However, if the transfer is made to be magnetic rather than electrical and the cycle frequency exceeds 20,000 cycles per second, and especially if the voltage is raised to a much higher level, then the output power from a simple motionless device can be kilowatts more than the input power. There are many, many ways to provide electrical power where no fuel is burnt, and where you do not have to pay for whatever energy you happen to draw from the system. We are using a very primitive form of electricity, by the way, guys. There is no need for you to do any of this, but it is important that you understand that it can be done, and there is actually no need for you to be charged for every watt of electrical energy you choose to use. And I've been saying that for a long time as well. We should not be paying for electricity. We shouldn't be paying for anything. Now, knowledge should be free. Electricity should be free. Food should be free. We should all be in abundance. That's the key. Once we all shift from lack and instinct mindsets into abundance, everything will just flourish. Alright guys, that is the end of Meet the Strawman for tonight. Freedom, and I will return tomorrow.